So here we are approaching the final 8 seconds before the first annual Mission Command Course full-up game begins. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the fighting and bloodshed commence.
Hey. Execute!
Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're going to be going over the Mission Command Course offered by One Shepherd. The purpose of this course is exactly as its name implies, Mission Command. They go over the principles of leadership and the things you have to do to command a unit. And they talk about the principles of war. You learn about some of the different philosophies of Clausewitz, Hominy, and Sun Tzu. Also, you go over different types of leadership, be the type of delegative or authoritarian and whatnot. And this is a 2-day course, and it's one of the individual skills you learn at One Shepherd, much like going through basic warrior or land navigation. The purpose of this course is to prepare you to be a unit leader in the One Shepherd thing and in life. Leadership is something that cannot be underestimated. Good leadership achieves great things. Bad leadership does not. Some leadership principles, while effective, are not good for long-term health of your unit. On the other hand, some types of leadership styles, depending on the time you have available, are better than others. Authoritarian very much gets things done very quickly. Delegative or deliberative, it gets the same results, but it takes a little bit more time. And you have to tailor your leadership style to not only the needs of your mission, but to the needs of those you are leading. And that's a lot of the command styles they discuss and go over during the Mission Command course. Now, like any course you take at One Shepherd, you start out the day with PT. And One Shepherd PT is bayonet training. And you go through your bayonet training on the first day, and after that you go into the classroom. Now, I don't have a lot of video of the classroom portions because it mainly sat around discussing command principles and theories of war. Also, a lot of time was spent playing the game Field Command. And this is a game that just teaches you about operational level warfare. Tactics are involved for sure, but not small unit tactics. You're doing things on a pretty large scale. And your first part of the game is just learning the mechanics of the game. Which is pretty detailed, but the more you play, the more readily apparent they become. And as several evolutions of the game go through, and you see more and more people playing the game, you get to notice that people are learning at a very exponential rate, whereas the first time you do it, learning the mechanics, you're not sure what a unit does, so you do things just to see what happens. The second time you play, you think you got a pretty good idea, and you find out some people have a different fundamental understanding than you do. And one of the things I noticed on the first full-up game that we played was that some of us understood some rules, some others understood other rules. There were parts that we didn't understand, and you had a case where, like, one side had almost their entire turn declared illegal moves and couldn't do anything, and the other side suffered the same fate, not to the same degree, but the same way. They had illegal moves. As more iterations of the games got played, less and less illegal moves occurred, which is an awesome thing because it meant people learn, and the more they learn, the more tactics they got. We also noticed that the longer the games or more iterations of the game were played, that people got more into tactics, they learned more, and therefore there was infinitely more maneuver and less combat and less casualties. So the very first game resulted in heavy casualties for both sides, one side more than the other. Each subsequent iteration that we played, though, the number of casualties racked up went down noticeably from game to game, yet there was much, much more maneuvering. And the learning was great to watch. As you saw people, as they learned things, you saw that they were learning from their mistakes while they made it, and you would sometimes see the expression on a person's face when their attack didn't work, what the consequences would be, or they made a move and then the enemy made a counter move that they weren't expecting and how it threw their plan into disarray. All of these things are things that you encounter in any real-world mission, be it a fire team level all the way up to Army group level. So one of the principles of leadership is command presence, and to teach that, what One Shepherd had us do was have the members of the Mission Command Course go out and bring chow and feed all the warriors that were participating in the Warrior Advance course. So the food was packed up, we took it out in a 416 trailer attached to a mutt, set up an improvised in the field hot meal DFAC. We rotated the troops through, and while we ate, we discussed with them what they had been doing in WAC, and this went on to set the command climate for later in the FTX when members who had participated in the MCC held leadership positions such as PL of both the Op 4 and the Blue 4, and the other members had other leadership positions within the patrols. And those in the WAC, they were fulfilling different billets throughout the patrols, both Op 4 and Blue 4, and they had learned a little bit about the people who were going to be their leaders, and the leaders had a chance to learn about them. And I'm pretty sure I can say, as leader of the Blue 4, that this was a really good opportunity to get to know people because there hadn't been much time to get to know anybody yet because we were in distinctly different classes. And it laid the foundational basis and I think helped make command a whole lot more smoothly and functional in the FTX because we had this time to start to get to know people and build relationships. The Mission Command course was a pretty fulfilling course. It went over a lot of command theories I had learned from my time going through NCO school in the Marines and PLDC in the Army, National Guard. At the same token, they covered other things that aren't covered in those schools, so it was very well-rounded. It was good to have the refreshers. Leadership is a skill like land navigation or any other technical skill in the fact that it's perishable. It's not something you learn one time and it's always with you and you never forget it, like riding a bike. No, it is a skill that needs to be replenished all the time, and one of the hallmarks of good leaders is that you're always learning, and one should always take the opportunity to improve their leadership whenever the opportunity presents itself. Leadership is one of the primary skills offered at the One Shepherd Leadership Institute. You can go to a lot of leadership courses and you can spend a lot of time there and you can spend a lot more money than you will spend at One Shepherd and not get nearly as quality leadership opportunities that you get. You get the chance, if you go through the whole One Shepherd course of 6 semesters, you get the opportunities to learn what it is to be led, you get the opportunities to learn how to lead, and then you get to lead. And there's a lot of leadership programs out there. None do this. And the leadership programs that are out there charge a whole lot more money than One Shepherd does. So if you think leadership is a skill you want to improve on, and you should want to improve on it, the One Shepherd system is something you need to check out. We hope you found this video about One Shepherd leadership helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in for future videos about One Shepherd.